Couple things. First of all, I was really hoping that we would get 100% participation on those multiple choice progress check questions. For those of you that did take them, the results were very good, but I had about 7 people in each hour that did not do them. So what I'm going to do tonight, I don't even know, maybe at the end of the hour here, I'll unlock those again for those of you that missed it, so you can recover some points there. Because I think it's more important that you guys do them and get the practice for them. So if you did not do your questions last night, I am going to, or over the weekend, I will unlock them again, so you can have some time to do that. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't want to go over the results until I have everybody's data in there, so that's the first thing, is those questions. I will unlock those for those of you that did not manage to get them in. All right. Today, we are going to be looking at creating Pong. If you don't know Pong, maybe is there a version we can play online? Play Pong online. Play Pong online. Let's see, Pong game, ponggame.org. Yeah, I want to enable Adobe. How does this work? Oh, here we go. Is that me? Wait, why can't I play? I'm not very good? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, something's happening. There we go. Okay, I figured out the controls here. If you've never seen Pong before, this is kind of how Pong, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's the cold medicine. Basically, what you're trying to do is keep the ball out of your goal, essentially. I'm the guy on the right now that's getting absolutely obliterated. This was kind of one of the first like home console games. What system? Atari? Atari. So if you want to kind of see it for yourself, it looks like ponggame.org is a good option here. And you basically have a ball bouncing around the screen and some paddles, and you're trying to score in your opponent's net. Okay, I'm obviously not very good. But that's Pong, and we're going to be writing Pong. We're going to be writing Pong using inheritance over the next couple days. I wrote, we are going to create Pong and processing over the next couple days. Oh, below is part 1 of the assignment. The directions are in the Word doc. You will complete the code in block for part 1. Starter code for block is included at the link. The other code is a tester. You must write the block class so that yields the output expected on the document. So, why is that happening? Let me try this again. There we go. So what I've done is I've kind of partially created the block class in here for you, and sample output of what you should see on the screen when you actually run your program. And essentially, if you were to do everything right today, you should see this output in your window as well as this output in your window when you're done today. I'm going to help you guys get set up and started here and everything, and then I'll kind of explain more. So the first thing you really want to do is open up processing. If you don't remember how to open up processing, you can just hit the Windows key and type processing. A lot of people were clamoring for processing projects, so this used to be in Java Swing, but I rewrote the lab in processing. I thought it would be more fun. Okay, so I've got processing open here, and on the classroom there's a couple different links. I'm going to click this first one that says Pong Processing 1 Tester. And I'm just going to copy that. And this is tester code that I've written for you that works, and you should not need to touch. So I'm going to paste that in, and then it's going to tell me what the heck is a block. Well, what you're doing today is creating a class called block. Why are you creating a class called block? Well, block is going to be up high in the hierarchy of classes that you're dealing with inside of this Pong game. A paddle, the thing that you saw me hitting the ball with, is going to be a block, and the ball itself is going to be a block as well. So You're going to be writing this block code today to kind of write the parent class, write the super class, and get it all working, and then go from there. So I pasted this in, and then the other thing I want you to do is there's another link on the classroom that just says block, and you can go ahead and copy and paste all of that however you want to. Your favorite method of copying and pasting. But we are not going to paste it inside of this same window. What I'm going to do instead, as we've done previously in processing when we did the ball class, is I'm going to hit this down arrow and do new tab, and the new name for file is going to be block. And then I'll paste the block code in there. So I've got two tabs open right now, kind of this tester code over here, and then some block, partial definition of a block class over here. You can see up at the top there's some instance variables. The X position and the Y position are basically where you're going to draw a block on a screen. A block is essentially a rectangle. Remember how you draw rectangles on the screen is you specify, you say rect, followed by the X and Y of the top left corner, followed by the width and height of that rectangle as well. So I've got the X position, the Y position, the block width, and the block height are all kind of declared there, and so is the block color, because you need to know what to color a block, essentially. And then you can see there's a constructor. You can obviously tell it's a default constructor that you need to write. You can tell it's default because it doesn't have anything in the parameters there. It says add some other block constructors. We'll talk about how you figure that out. Some mutators. They're incomplete right now. The display functions are fine. You don't have to touch those. Oh, an equals method from Friday. You need to write one of those. And a toString method and some accessors and so on and so on and so on and so on. So, how are you going to figure out what the heck you have to do for this Pong thing? Well, some of it's a little bit obvious. You guys know how to write a mutator, you know how to write a constructor, you know how to write an accessor method. Some of it is not so obvious. And for that, you can kind of look at the tester code. For example, if I look at the tester code here and I create a default block and then go ahead and print it out, the document tells me that a default, this is the first one that's printed out, this default should have an X of 100, a Y of 150, a width of 10, a height of 10, and then a color of this triplet here. How do I know that that's the default constructor? Well, because if I go back to this tester, this sketch here, you can see that when the first thing I print out is object 1, the block object 1. And so I want to make sure that those values match this for my default constructor. Then when you're trying to think about what other constructors you might have to write, you can again look at your tester code. It shows a constructor that takes in 4 integers. Right now I don't have that constructor, so it's causing an error for me. I would go ahead and have to add that constructor to block. Here's a constructor that takes in 4 integers followed by a color. I don't have that constructor yet, so I would have to add that constructor to block. And then obviously there's an equals method, and then you can see the toString method at work as well there. So essentially there's not a ton of instructions except making sure that your output matches this output when you're done with the block class. As an example, here's one that I have done. I've written my block class. You can see I get the exact output that you see on the document, and then I also get the exact visual output you see in the document as well. So you're essentially going to be writing the block class so that it fulfills the specifications on the tester. Making sure you have the right constructors, making sure you write your toString the correct way, all kinds of stuff. So that's what you guys are going to be doing during the hour. When yours is working, you should be able to hit the run button, and then you should have this exact output pop up, as well as the processing window popping up exactly like it looks like in the document. When you finished all that, you are and you get the output you're supposed to, you're done. And then tomorrow we're going to look at writing the ball class and the paddle class, and then the day after that we'll look at handling the logic of the game and so on and so forth. But that's all you're doing today. Are there any questions? Okay. I'll get out of your way here and